Breaking down Post Malone's I Hate Some Help today. We'll analyze some 3 things we could improve in those lyrics and some 3 things we can take away and use in our own toolboxes. If you're just starting out to learn to write song lyrics, you absolutely must watch till the end. And if you've been writing lyrics for quite some time, you'll still find something useful in the video.
Don't you, baby?
As we know, Post Malone had some help, and I am Vadusha, and I'm the greatest expert in song lyrics in the entire world, and maybe even on YouTube. As always, starting with end rhymes. Nerve, curb, baby, made me, friends, crazy, one. So it goes A, B, B here, and something here. Not sure what the scheme is. Then there's a pre-chorusy part which goes you, to, view, new. So this may be the A rhyming scheme. I like how he manages to rhyme not just the baby, the A sound, but the entire thing, made me. And this is a bit more creative than you would expect from a pop song. Then it goes, had some help, kinda miss, by myself, pull up the bottle from the shelf, weakened, till, dream work, help. Post Malone has to adjust his articulation to make these rhymes fit, but that is way more creative than usually you see in a pop song. Then verse 2, blame for crumbling, guilty, something, gain that, running. Okay, so this pattern established in verse 1 seems to not continue in verse 2, which is not quite a good thing. Post Malone, please do a better job at rhyming. You started this game here, gave us some good promises, established a pattern, and here you just abandon it. Please get the pattern back, it worked nicely. Then it goes, innocent, you did, heaven sent of this. Well, this is marginal. Then again, the chorus here, then a little bridge-ish thing, takes 2 to break hard in 2. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's a long ass ooh that makes it rhyme. Then it goes, baby, you blame me, and baby, I blame you again to make these rhyme. And then truth again, sort of semi-rhyme. And then the chorus. Alright, summing it up with the end rhymes. I like the rhymes like made me and baby. Though baby has been used quite a lot in pop music, it kinda is polysyllabically rhyming with things. And these things like weekend and dream work. Not too strict in terms of rhyming, but very inventive. And then again, things like innocent and heaven sent, those aren't the best rhymes of all time, but they work quite nicely, especially given how Post Malone changes his articulation when singing. So all in all, I really like how it's made a bit lazy in the second verse though, but so far, so good. Let's check some internal rhymes and maybe some other phonetic devices like alliterations and stuff. You got a lot, don't you, baby? Don't you? I only. A lot of mirroring of those sounds all over the place. Don't you? Cause you. And you're telling your friends that I'm crazy. I'm not sure about this last line, but the fun thing is that Post Malone established the pattern, and then in the very last line, in the very strongest position possible, he breaks the rules. He abandons the pattern, making us, the listener, raise our eyebrows. And that's exactly the effect you get when you establish a pattern and then play with it. Then there's another structure here. Throw, stones, own. Again, internal rhymes all over the place. Then the chorus is full of that. Ain't, like, make, kind. Then this one's off this pattern. Then being, deep, weakened. Then they say, teamwork, rhyming back here, makes the dream work. I'm pretty sure some deliberate work has been done here to make this more rhymeful. Then verse 2 has to be worse than verse 1. You thought I'd take some alliteration, but I'm not seeing a lot of alliteration here, so I think that's just an incident. This one's nice. Ain't, an angel, ain't, heaven sent, can't, hands. So see, a lot of phonetic repetition that makes the song run, makes the sound sonically pleasing. That was my first impression when I heard the song. It was that I got this feeling that I like the phonetics of it. That's some alliteration here, not sure if it's deliberate though. Baby, you blame me, and baby, I blame you. This one plays around who blames who, which works nicely. And that's it with the phonetics. So all in all, inventive rhymes plus some internal rhyming, very few scattered pieces of alliteration, altogether make up a very nicely sounding piece. Let's go a level up and check out some metaphors and other expressive devices. You're telling friends I'm crazy, like I'm the only one. This one's a nice punchline here. So Post Malone's his partner or whoever they are telling his friends they're crazy. But Post Malone does not object to that. Instead, he owns it and says he's not the only one who's crazy. So it's not his craziness that is the problem. It's a lot of people are crazy, not just him. Throw them stones is a reference to throwing stones in glass houses, I guess. So that's another one. Had a wild hair of your own, or two. So making it, expanding this one. Then goes the glass house itself. So referencing it back to the stones. But a glass house with a view. So it's changing up an idiom to make it more expressive. And this one expands on the idea of Post Malone not being the only one who is something. This time, my best guess is that Post Malone is not the only one who is to blame for the entire conflict or whatever mess they ended up in. That's a metonymy when pulling the bottle off the shelf means a whole lot more than just pulling the bottle. I guess there's a drinking problem associated with their relationship, and that's a very good representation of it. So initially, you think I had some help, is that Post Malone literally had some help, but instead, having some help is sharing the blame, which is a very good, very expressively done. Innocent and heaven sent. Heaven sent is an epithet. Nails takes two to break a heart in two, which is a play on words. Takes two, break a heart in two. Ultimate punchline of the song is that Post Malone is not the only person to blame for the problems in their relationship, and it is manifested in I had some help. Alright, going a level up and seeing some storytelling going on. The intro shows us that there's some problem and there's a person telling their friends that Post Malone is crazy, though they're not the only one. So we realize the conflict is there and the blame is mutual. And also the chorus reveals that there's a drinking problem there. Then verse 2 recycles the same idea. It's bad. Phonetically, it's bad. I'd get rid of that and rewrite the whole thing. This one just summarizes the entire thing, so no additional value here as well. So verse 1 works, the chorus works, and then from verse 2 on, it's just empty. Let's try and single out some 3 things we could improve in those lyrics. Number 1, which is very obvious, is verse 2 and on. I completely remove that. It's not as inventive rhyme-wise here. I'd rewrite that for the rhyming's sake and for the sake of storytelling. And the way to go here is to check out what's happening. She's blaming him. He's not the only one to blame. There's a drinking problem. And what? What's the resolution? What's the character development? Is it Post Malone accepting the blame? Is it the other person changing somehow and accepting the blame as well? Something gotta change. Something gotta develop for it to be interesting to continue listening to the song. Of course, the music works. Of course, the phonetics works. And Post Malone's is charisma or whatever. But if the lyrics worked as well, if the rhyming was better, if the storytelling were better, it'd all be overall a masterpiece. But now all the other elements that are really good have to fight against the lyrics which are bad. Edit this out, rewrite it. Number 2 is I'd even out those syllables in the chorus. It's all over the place. If you'd start counting them, you'd lose count. It sounds all well because it works together with the music, but I'd even this out. It's not that everything has to be even and count well in terms of syllables, but it's that when you create a pattern, you establish something that is even and square, you can break the rules like it does in verse 1, doing this out of place line. With the chorus, it works well, but it could work better. And obviously, number 3 is I would use this pattern established in verse 1, rhyming every other line, and I would replicate it in verse 2 when rewriting it. So rhyme this one with this one with this one, because it's always a balance of consistency and change, because consistency perceives familiar as safe, and safe is pleasant. On the other hand, having everything familiar all the time is plain boring. So you have to change things up every now and then. And this balance of new and familiar is always the game we have to play to entertain the listener. Consistency in terms of rhyming inside, like in verse 1, but I change something up right here. Or use the bridge to add this inconsistency and pattern breaking. This would help to bring the good balance of pleasing and teasing the audience so that the song works even better. Right, 3 things I'd learned from Post Malone, and number 1 is the inventiveness of rhymes. I absolutely like how in some places it worked really well, like Innocent and Heaven Sent, and those internal rhymes inside we've just discussed. It goes beyond what pop songs usually do, and that's why I like it. Number 2 is the creative use of idioms, changing them up. Like teamwork makes the dream work. Well, I had some help, referencing to the problems the couple had, or this glass house and throwing stones that got extended, adding this with a view and having these entire 4 lines dedicated to it. And number 3 is how Post Malone uses the tagline. I had some help here and here. It creates a perfect loop in the chorus, starting it with it and then ending it on it. That is a very, very, very powerful device. And I wanted to thank you for watching the video till the very end and not skipping any bit of it. It lets YouTube know the video is interesting, especially if you subscribe while watching. Its algorithms start promoting the video, and most importantly, makes me happy. And while you're subscribing to the channel, please like the video, especially if you have a heart. I really hope you managed to learn something from Post Malone, because you're awesome. Yes, you are.